Hello YouTube, it is Saturday night and we're going to play a little bit of Phantasy Star Online. So it promises to be a pretty good game today because it's Saturday evening. I just posted in the Facebook group. It looks like a lot of people that aren't playing are going to be joining in a couple minutes anyways, but should be cool. There's an Easter event happening right now, so I really want to check that out. I can't remember if I checked it out in previous years, but all those events, they promise to be good, especially if we can find some experienced players, only because they seem to know like a lot of the tricks and the hidden ways of doing the side quests. And you know, sometimes you get some pretty cool loot, so we're going to check those out if we can and see what we can find. In the meantime, what have I been working on? Well, the one thing I'm really trying to work on right now is jailbreaking PS3. So I've had my PS3 probably for about, I think I got it in 2010, maybe a little bit earlier. And of course I've updated all the firmware and stuff like that. And I was always kind of leery about jailbreaking it because I know that it could go one of two ways. Either you're successful or you're not. And if you're not, you can brick your system. So I never did it. I updated my system, you know, throughout the years, and I can't really do it now without downgrading the firmware, and the only real way to do that is with hardware. So I did order E3 flasher, and I plan on at some point, it'll probably arrive within a month or so, just sitting down and actually flashing my PS3 and jailbreaking it and see what I can do with that. The good news is I found this, which really speaks for the times we're in when you can start finding these things for so cheap. But this will be the system I tested out on. I managed to find a PS3 at a Value Village for $19.99. It's only got a 120 gig hard drive on board, but powered it up, everything's fine. Cosmetically, it's in pretty decent condition, so that'll be my test system to see how well the jailbreaking works. But the E3 flasher, I've watched a couple of videos. It looks pretty simple if you've got sort of some confidence dealing with some electronics. So basically you open up the system, you put in the flasher, and you just hard flash the system. You don't have to rely on USBs or anything like that. Nothing else really flashes the system and downgrades it to 3.55 other than this piece of hardware. So it was pretty cheap. Sold some things on eBay. I think it was 40 bucks shipped from Hong Kong, and it looks like it's probably going to be arriving in the next I don't know, probably about the next month. Could have got one that would have arrived earlier, but it cost an extra $20, and I'm really in no rush for this project. I've had my PS3 for 8 years. Even when I do flash it, I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. I just kind of want to play around with it because that's pretty much what I do. And yeah, that's kind of it. So I spent a lot of time last night actually just looking for ways of flashing the system without having to buy this hardware, and the long and short of it was impossible. Although I did go down a rabbit hole of a lot of MediaFire links and a lot of spam that my Norton antivirus was fighting off throughout the night, and a lot of files that I downloaded that promised to be able to do the flashing just via USB, and those were all loaded with different kind of malware and stuff like that. So I thought, you know, for what it's worth, let's just do a hardware flash. I like playing around with that kind of equipment anyways, and see what happens. So that'll be my next little project for the next little while. And if it's successful, from what I understand, you can load PS2 games on it as well. So what I'll probably end up doing with my free McBoot PS3 or PS2 rather, is transferring the files onto another hard drive and then just transferring some games over to the PS3. Probably end up gutting most of my PS3 collection and just downloading probably a couple of games that I probably owned at one point but just never really got around to, like Theft Auto 4 and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're up to in the meantime. But let's get online, because I did promise a couple of people that I was going to join around 10, and we are burning daylight here. So let's fire up the system and see who we can find. Hey, what's going on, 407 Gaming? Okay, so far so good. I just want to make sure I have all my connections properly set up. It looks pretty good. All right, so let's get our controller and go to the online game section. Phantasy Star Online, Eve's PSO version 2. So again, that's the version that I prefer to use. I don't play on CD anymore ever since I started using the USB GD-ROM. And with the Eves patcher, it just makes everything a lot easier. You don't have to switch discs, and with the USB you can switch discs, but Eves has an auto patcher, so that front loads the game, which makes it load up a little, like just a tiny bit longer, but it means that you don't have to swap discs. It just makes things a whole lot easier. Also, the game itself, I don't know what they did to the actual game code, but they seem to have made it just run a lot smoother, so it's kind of nice. Hey Trailblazer, welcome aboard. Okay, so online. Yes, yes, and yes. Cool. Okay, so far so good. Let's see who's in the lobby. Here we are. Okay, select ship. Cilia is pretty good. Vega not so much. Oh, Altamira is pretty good. I always find Altamira is generally the most popular. So let's jump into Altamira. Happy Easter, which means Frantic Fauna. Yes, we have played that in the past. I can't remember if that was before I got the broadband adapter. I remember there was one quest that I kept. Oh, look at this. Can we join? Oh, sweet. I remember there was one quest that we kept trying to play and it kept crashing. I think it was the Christmas one. I'm not sure if I think Frantic Fauna actually kept crashing as well. Just couldn't handle the code, so. Thanks. I think it'll be successful. It looks pretty easy according to the videos that I've watched. Cool. Jumping in. But like anything, anything can happen. It doesn't look like if you mess up, like according to some of the videos, they're even showing the error messages that your E3 flasher will show. It doesn't look like if you screw up, it means your system is totally going to be bricked. It looks like it'll just kind of stop flashing the system. So pretty confident that I'll be able to do it without any fuss. And like I said, I've got that burner PS3 right now, and in the event that it dies, at least I got a 120 gig hard drive out of it, and I'll probably just throw that on my computer. So okay, boom, boom, boom. All right, maybe what we should do is switch over, because we've got a really decent team right now, and see about... Oh shit, insta-death, eh? Ouch. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Give me my stuff. Oh, jeez. Let's get out of here and heal up. Wow, look at that. Okay, it's not a lag. That's just some sort of spell that they put on me. Okay, so let's equip and get out of here. And boom. Oh shit. Wow, this is really sad. Okay, somebody better tech me up, because my guy is hurting right now. Hold on. Okay, thanks guys for helping out. On the plus side, I'm gonna PB really quick because I'm taking a lot of punishment here. Okay, freeze these guys. Let's get them out of here. Alright, sweet. And let's see if we can do any damage. Hopefully somebody can apply some sort of tech on us and be able to hit for a little bit more. Because right now we're hitting for 0, despite the fact our character is half decent, but our mag is not. Alright, maybe we will switch over to a different weapon for the meantime. Let's go back to our Android rifle. That was pretty decent. At least it hits for a little bit more, although it's not doing that great. Okay, cool. So we're hitting for a little bit more with some of these enemies, but looks like the harder enemies, not so much. Oh, I stand corrected. We're still hitting for 0. Hey, what's going on, buddy? Alright, let's switch it up again. We're only going to be able to tag one thing at a time, but at least we've got a little bit more distance on a shot because we've got a sniper. What PB do you have? Okay. I think they might be in private chat because I can't quite see what's going on there. But you know what we'll do in the meantime? Let's go and use our mag. Oh, we can't quite give it any items yet. And what do we have on our mag anyway? Mag, Dreamcast. Okay, we have Estella and Mila. Sorry. My keyboard slipped. Okay, I'm only at 27, so we're not really going to be able to do too much here. Alright, so they're going to do fairly big photon blast, which is kind of cool, but unfortunately we won't be able to participate. But you know what we're going to do? We're just going to at least donate to the cause. We should be able to do that. Okay, are they ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll donate. There we go. I don't really know how much our donation helped, but 20 photons, why not? No, sorry, no beer tonight. We're working on a little bit of this cupcake red velvet. Would love some beer, but I just did not pick up anything before the night started. It's been kind of a weird week, to be honest. It's March break here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, which is great. I ended up taking it off for my full-time job. I don't get it off as a stat or anything like that, but it also means I've just been really busy with, you know, family stuff and a lot of other projects I've been working on as well. I told you guys I was rebuilding my computer. I was holding off. Now, the computer I have, I upgraded the case, which is great cosmetically. I added a ton more fans to keep the cooling down. I also ended up replacing the CPU fan and adding speed fan, which is just a little piece of software to help you control it. I was going to buy an external fan controller, the 4-pin, so you can control the speeds and everything like that. But I ended up choosing to go with just a couple of 3-pin fans and running them on a 3-pin splitter that goes directly to the power supply. And the only thing with that is that you can't control it, but it comes with a little bit of a little resistor on it, so you can keep the fan speed at medium, which is kind of nice. So they're not terribly loud. And also I can control the fan on my GPU, which is kind of nice as well. So that's all well and good, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll buy a new dedicated graphics card too. Just go on Amazon and see what's cheap. And I was thinking about going with sort of a mid-range 4GB dedicated graphics card. I've noticed that I do really like the quality that these YouTube streams come out in, but I think they can be better. And I think part of it is I'm using a very old graphics card. It's like a Radeon 1550. And it seems to do the trick, but it's got no dedicated memory on board. And you know, it's from 2009, 2010. I can't remember. Quite old. So it really struggles. And then I was thinking, well, for the cost of a new graphics card, somewhere like in the mid-range of $300, I could just try and upgrade my CPU. And I was looking at the Intel i7 Core i7 8700K. And that's on for a decent price right now. It's about $450 Canadian on Amazon. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just buy that and swap out the processor I have. So right now I have an Intel Core i7 870, which is your first gen Core i7. It's great and everything like that, but it's definitely dated, and you can tell that my computer is really struggling because of it. The other good thing about the Core i7 8700K processors that has a built-in GPU. It looks pretty good. Like, I've seen some demonstrations of it. It seems to hold up well with some AAA games at medium settings. So I think it'll hold up well with what I need it for anyways. And for the cost of a new CPU, I was like, well, or a new graphics processor, I was like, well, why don't I just get a new CPU and try that out instead? So I was going to do it, and then I realized, oh wait, the chipset doesn't match my current motherboard, so then I got to get a new motherboard as well. Which is, at this point, I might as well just get a new computer. But then, you know, I'm probably not going to get a new computer. I only need certain parts. So right now, I'm currently pricing up a new motherboard that'll fit the Core i7 8700K processor. I think I'll put it in the case that I built, because I do like, the one thing I noticed about newer gaming cases is that, yeah, they look cool. They've got a lot of space, a lot of room to do upgrades and stuff like that. But not a lot of them don't include 5 1/4 expansion bay at the front. A lot of them just have fans, and then they have internal drives where you can mount hard drives. I guess that's because, like, a lot of people that are especially building gaming PCs, they just don't need to have, you know, front, like maybe a couple front USBs, maybe a headphone jack, a mic jack, but everything is USB. Like, even the odd times that you need to access a DVD, you'll just get an external DVD player that plugs in via USB to access that media. So from what I've gathered, it's just like the 5 1/4 is kind of antiquated nowadays. But I do have a lot of things that I like with my 5 1/4 drive that make it good for me. So I think I'll probably keep the case and probably put in the new motherboard, buy the new CPU, see how well the built-in GPU on the CPU handles everything I want to do, and then at some point maybe upgrade to a new GPU. I'm kind of holding out, like I said before, for the cryptocurrency miners to end up purging stuff. I've seen a lot of stuff local go for pretty cheap, so I'm hoping that in the very near future you're going to see a lot of this stuff sort of come on the market used. And I'm looking at a couple of different ones, mostly the 1050 Ti GeForce card. That looks pretty decent. That looks like it'll hold up with a lot of what I want to do right now. I don't do a whole lot of AAA gaming, especially AAA gaming from the last couple of years. The only AAA gaming I do is probably from like 10 years ago, you know, like Crysis and stuff like that. Those are the games I enjoy. I would like to play Fallout 4, but I think the reality is I will not be able to put in the amount of time it takes to fully enjoy that game. And also, I don't really want to put in that kind of time. I think the days when I was able to put in, you know, 200-300 hours into a game, they're not necessarily done. Like, I put a lot of time into Phantasy Star Online, but it's also been over the course of a number of years, so I've spread it out. And I know that certain games like that, like definitely Fallout is a good example. I go down a rabbit hole pretty quickly. And I just end up playing it for hours at a time every day, and it's a fun game. But the fun, I think, comes from it's the journey, not the destination. And the journey sometimes takes a long time. You know, there's a lot of time you spend just wandering through deserts, just hoping that you'll run into something interesting. Like, you could easily spend an hour to 2 hours just wandering deserts or whatever location you are in Fallout, and not finding a single thing, and just exploring the open world sandbox. And it's cool, but I don't have the amount of time nowadays to commit to something like that. So as much as I would like to play it, I don't think I'm going to probably get around to playing it, unfortunately. So that said, I'm mostly using it for stream purposes and for rendering purposes of other videos, because I've got a couple of other video projects currently that I'm working on, and my hope is that they will be out and about very shortly, probably within the next month or so, if everything goes according to plan. I'm just working out a couple of kinks, and it sucks that I didn't jump on board the affiliate program with some other channels that I've been working on, but I guess it's too late for that now, so I'm gonna have to wait till I get a certain amount of views and a certain amount of hours watched before I'm able to actually become a partner with it, which is fine, you know. I was thinking about linking it to this channel for that purpose, but I don't really think that the two channels that I'm trying to create are that related, so Fallout 4 is certainly a hidden gem. Oh, here we go. Okay, I missed that. Alright, Fallout 4 is hidden gem. Oh, thanks guys, I appreciate it. Alright, so let's go over here and alright, well I can't take that and not respond. Right back at ya. Alright, cool. So let's go into this warp. Yeah, so that's the other thing too about getting a new motherboard, is that I'll finally be able to upgrade some of the RAM I have. Now the RAM I have is pretty decent, but I've maxed it out for my current system. So I use Windows 7. I'll probably upgrade a new I'll keep my Windows 7 machine because it's a great Windows 7 machine, but I'll probably upgrade to Windows 10, which kind of sucks because it means that a lot of the software I use is not going to be compatible with it, but it'll be a learning curve like anything else. And Windows 7 64-bit only has a maximum of 16 gigabyte of RAM that you can apply to it. Anything after that, it'll only read at 16 gigabytes. So it would be nice to get maybe a couple of 8 gigabyte sticks of, you know, DDR4 or something like that, just to boost it up. But again, at this point, it's looking to be like a different computer. So as I was saying before about the 5 1/4 drives, it kind of sucks that they don't include it in there, but I think I could probably modify the front panel enough just with a little bit of DIY and bring in a couple of 5 1/4 expansion slots, or at least just shop around for a tower. I was looking at a place in Toronto. It's also available anywhere else. It's called Canada Computers, and they're a franchise-ish, like a very small franchise. They've got a couple of locations over Canada, and they have fantastic prices on stuff. So a lot of their motherboards are on sale right now. They're like $50 to $70 off, and also include $40 to $50 mail-in rebates. So you're looking at buying a $200 motherboard for around 80 bucks. So at that price, I figured, hey, why not? Let's just go that way. So, oh, what happened to Titan Guy? What happened to Titan Guy? Did he DC? Oh, here we go. Titan Guy's coming back in. Cool. Must have DC'd. Okay, we'll bring Silas back to life. DC is dying? Oh, that's too bad. Alright, cool. They did drop a pipe. That was going to be my next step. Bang! Okay. My dog ran into the wire. Oh man. That is kind of funny. You don't really hear about that much nowadays, where they knock a phone cord or something like that out of the line. That is old school DCing. I can definitely remember back in the day when I used to mostly play PC games online, and you would dial up computer to computer through your fax modem, whatever it was at the time. I think at the time when I started, I had like a 2800 baud modem, which was sort of one of the first bigger modems of the very early 90s, late 80s, and then we got a computer and upgraded to, I believe it was a 14.4, which was kind of top of the line for a number of years. And then after that we went to the 14.4, we ended up getting the max of the max, which is 56K. And even though we had a fixed 56K modem, none of the phone lines could support it back in the day. They were just not optimized for the kind of data that you were transferring. So you would connect at, 14.4 or less, actually, when you were trying to connect to play games. I played a lot of games like Warcraft 2, computer to computer with a couple of friends that lived relatively close. And the way you do that is you just set if you were the host computer, you just start a game, set it to answer, and then I would have to dial in the number, their home number, so their home phone would go to their computer, and it would pick it up, much like a BBS and door games if you played those back in the day. The only problem was that it was through a phone line, so if on either end somebody picked up the phone, that completely killed your game. So on more than one occasion, that happened to us. We'd be playing a game and then all of a sudden, bang, we'd lose it all. And it'd be quite frustrating, but it was also, one of those things that made it a little bit more exciting, because you were kind of always wondering when it was going to happen, when somebody would pick up the phone for whatever reason. You always give people the heads up or play a little bit late in the night, maybe like 12 or 1 o'clock when people weren't calling or anything like that. But then you also had to make sure that all the other ringers in the house were off, because if you were a host computer and you were accepting a call and somebody was dialing in, it was going through your home line, so it would go on all phones. And if your parents were sleeping or something like that and they had a phone by their bed and bang, it went off in the middle of the night, well, they probably wouldn't be too happy. I know I wouldn't be happy. So you'd try to arrange where maybe if it was cordless, you took it out of their room, or you unplugged it or something like that, just to make it so it was a little bit less intrusive on everybody else. But yeah, you get a couple of really great games back in the day like that. I wish it's kind of hard to pinpoint when people stopped doing that. Probably around the time the internet became a little bit more accessible to everybody, like around 1995, I think. Because I remember prior to that, I used to really like BBSs. In fact, it's funny, I recently had an email exchange with the guy who made this amazing documentary, which I really like. You can watch it on archive.org, or you can watch it on YouTube for free. It's like a 5-hour documentary just on the history of the BBS scene. And I've watched this documentary. I watched it for the first time many, many years ago when it first came out, probably about 10 years ago. Start to finish, just watched. Back when I can actually sit down and watch something uninterrupted. And since then I've had it on in the background a few times while I'm doing other little odds and ends. And it's something that I enjoy just because I grew up in that era, so I can relate to it a little bit. And I remember the ASCII art scene and, the different kind of ways people connect and the chats and all that kind of stuff. And it's very nostalgic for me, the door games and all that kind of stuff. But he had a DVD set. It's been out of print for quite some time, and it goes for quite a bit. If you look on Amazon, I mean, the prices are ridiculous. Nobody's going to be spending thousands of dollars on a DVD set, but even when it comes up for auction on eBay, you're looking at spending about $60 to $70 at least on a DVD set. So I've seen a couple show up that were not complete, and they still sold for that price. So there are quite a few fans of that documentary series, and I think when I was researching it just to see if anybody had it for sale for a decent price, which nobody does, everybody tries to scalp that shit, I stumbled upon a page of his website that I think he meant to take down, but it was still up. And what it was an order page. Apparently back in June of 2017, he was putting up for sale 30 copies, sealed copies that he had saved, that he was selling for $100 each, shipped from his personal collection. And I thought that was really cool, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll check it out. And he still had the PayPal link up, and you could still follow through with the PayPal and everything like that. But it seems suspicious because when I went to his main site, it was not available. So I thought, okay, maybe this was a page that he actually meant to take down, but he forgot to for whatever reason, and or maybe he just didn't get around to taking it down. Regardless, it was still up. So I emailed him. I was like, hey, there's no chance that there's any of these DVD copies available. I'd like to pick it up because it's through PayPal, so I'll just use my PayPal funds. And he got back to me. He's like, no, sorry, it's not. But he's actually going to release the DVD images because this is it for him. He's not selling this series anymore. It's basically he's making a public domain. If you've got a DVD copy, great. But I think he's just aware that so many people have put it up on so many different sites for so many years that there's no point in trying to hold on to the intellectual property. So he's actually going to release, he said, sometime in the very near future, the ISO DVD images of all of the DVDs, so you can just make your own copy if you like. Now, I won't burn it to DVD, of course, but I'll probably download it and just rip the files because they'll be in their purest form. A lot of the video is from 10, 15 years ago, so because of that, everything's kind of shot on, a lot of it's on home video, a lot of it is 4:3, in fact all of it is 4:3, and a lot of it is interlaced, so the video quality is quite dated, but there's really no way you can update it. It was kind of not necessarily standard at the time, but I think for somebody that was making a very independent low budget project, they weren't thinking about 2018 and high definition, ultra high definition, and 4K resolution. They were just thinking, okay, I just want to make it as useful and interesting as possible, and it developed quite a cult following. And he actually did another documentary called Get Lamp, which was about like the door game scene as well. And I watched it once, and it was okay. I didn't enjoy it as much as I like BBS, and he's still got DVD copies of it available. And I think actually maybe I'll try and pick up a copy of that, because the only copy I saw was online on YouTube, and it was very, very poor quality. I think it was actually a bootleg of the screening when he debuted the documentary some years ago. But yeah, it seems like a nice fella. Really liked the BBS scene, and I don't see anybody really talking about that scene anymore. I know I've brought it up quite a few times here on the stream, just because I had some pretty fond memories of using that kind of system back in the day. It was the first way you were able to communicate with other people over a computer. I mean, it was back way before this was accessible to everybody. Like, you had to be a pretty hardcore geek to host and run your own BBS, and it was for a very, very small group of people. And we also managed to find each other. In fact, one guy that I met just simply by playing door games, he is still a friend of mine to this day. And in fact, we both, we met back probably, we came in touch with each other probably in the 7th grade playing door games. And when we went to high school, now keep in mind, we had no clue, but we found out that we were these two avatars playing these door games on this BBS against each other, and we were cordial and stuff like that online. But now we were meeting each other in real life, and it was kind of shocking, because it was like you just didn't do that. And we became good friends in high school, and then we went our separate ways after high school for a couple of years, and then we ended up moving to the same city again here in Toronto and reconnected. He lived here for quite a number of years and only recently got out because the housing market in Toronto is just so ridiculous at the moment. He had a house and a family. He's like, I don't have any affiliation with Toronto other than working, and he didn't really need to be here, and it was too expensive, and it wasn't necessarily too expensive for him. He's a smart guy who makes a decent income, but he didn't need to be here is what it amounts to. He can work pretty much from anywhere. And yeah, he sold his house, which paid his mortgage and gave him a crap load of money extra to buy a house basically with cash in a place that he wanted to live. So good on him. I mean, oh shoot. Oh, I think that was somebody else's tech. I'm glad I didn't grab that. Did someone drop that, or was that dropped by the enemy? I passed it up because I thought one of you dropped it. Man, what is that thing anyway? It looked really, really cool. Well, hopefully whoever picked it up is going to share. Power VR. Okay, cool. Enemy drop. Huh, interesting. I haven't really seen too many good enemy drops recently, so... What does it do? Very curious about this Power VR. Is it armor or is it a shield? It's a part of a mag evolution. Ah. I have a Dreamcast mag. Wow, well, if that works for mine, like, what do? I think you bring it to the techer. You find it. You keep it. Okay. Fair enough, yeah. DC Mag is my dream mag. That drop is part of the EP drop. Cool. Nice. Very interesting. Well, I guess I should have probably been a little bit more aggressive in trying to find that, but oh well, c'est la vie. I typically pass up a lot of... Okay, next rare thing I see, I'm grabbing. Yeah, you see rare drops so infrequently here that I just pass them up because I just assumed somebody died and dropped an item, but I probably should have grabbed that, especially if it's not sure if it still works though. Okay, cool. Because like, generally I get my rare stuff from other people. You don't find it in game, so ask Kurohimi rather. Somebody corrected me on that in the chat. I think it was... Who corrected me on that? Kurohimi. It was, I can't recall. I'm drawing a blank. Anyways, the person is very nice and I chat with him often in the channel comments. DC Mag can be obtained through special quests, Big B. Yep. Kurohimi ended up giving me this Dreamcast mag that I'm trying to build at the moment, so... Damn, that sucks. That would have been a really good item to have. I had no idea. Just look at my back. It's all you need to know. Alright. 24, 100. Okay, let's try it out. See if we can get everything together. So we got the twins. Is anybody gonna launch? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, well, let's get back here and tag. Speaking of the chat, what's going on over here? Which movie am I talking about? I believe earlier I was talking about this DVD set called the BBS documentary, which you can find online, watch it on YouTube, or you can watch it on archive.org. I think they actually have a better version that you can download and watch from home. So, although with YouTube, of course, you're going to watch from home, unless you're on the phone, on the bus, whatever you want to do. I used to do that quite a bit with my my old phone, and then I think it's because my new data plan is actually better, but I don't tend to stream video out in the wild just because I find that Be right back, potty. It's a rabbit hole of me not doing what I probably should be doing and just watching YouTube videos. So sometimes I'll watch a video and I'll get into it and then I'll just decide, I'm gonna take the long way around this route, or sit on a bench for a bit. It's like, no, just wait till you get home in the middle of the night. You don't need to sit around watching YouTube videos in the park. Okay, what do we got here? Anything here? Special items, but nothing worth keeping. Okay, can we get in the ring? Wait for a friend to heal up, and then we'll replace some of our... I don't think we actually need the ring, do we? No, we didn't use any of... What is special weapon? I don't know. Dunno. Gonna check with the techer. Alright, where do we go from here, guys? Actually, we should really, speaking of our Dreamcast mag, we have really been neglecting it. Okay, give item, Dimate, perfect. And Dimate, and Dimate, sweet. Level up, 41, okay, well we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we are getting there. Alright, let's swing around this side here. KK, sweet. And I think we need to undo... Oh, is that the end warp? It is. Boss time! $100. Okay, there's a warp there. Sweet. Awesome. Okay, so I think we're just waiting for... one person to come back. So while we're waiting, I just want to show you guys some other interesting little pickups I had recently. So this was really cool only because I didn't necessarily need it, but every time I see a PS2, especially a Slim, they are generally pretty cheap. And this one was complete for $14, as you can see right there. And it came with the clear charcoal controller and all the hookups and everything like that. But there was one thing tucked away in it that really caught my eye. And if you look in here, it is another Sega Game Gear Power Back. So that alone was worth it to me for the 14 bucks. And this is cool because what I'm going to do is I'm currently in the process of purging a lot of my PS2 stuff, and I'll just bundle up some of the games that, you know, maybe aren't necessarily the biggest sellers. You know, like what's the point of posting a copy of Call of Duty 3 on for $5 when I can just sell it all as a bundle for like 50 bucks or something like that. So that's what I'll probably end up doing. But yeah, really cool find, especially for the Sega Power Back. As you guys might know, that I like to upgrade those with a new RC battery with the lithium-ion pack inside, and it runs quite well. I can run my Game Gear for about 3 to 4 hours, which is pretty decent because even with all the modifications I've done to my Game Gear, it still is a bit of a battery pig. And in fact, I'm looking at getting some end loop batteries from Panasonic just to kind of take off the battery pack and have some decent rechargeables and see how long those last. They might last for a decent bit, but it's hard to say. I haven't been able to test them. So the good news with those is my plan is with the Power Back to actually take out the circuit, hardwire it into the Game Gear, and then be able to recharge the chargeable batteries from inside the Game Gear. So I just leave them in basically and just plug in a regular power adapter as I would to charge the Power Back. And then hopefully if that plan works out well, I'll just be able to charge it as normal. Oh shit, he's swung around. Okay, boom. Okay, and I don't think I can... Okay, sweet. Where is he hiding? There he is. Okay, there he is. I don't think I'm going to be able to... be able to take him out the way I want to. So the plan was with my mag, maybe we can, well, certainly if people want to combine our mags, I'll participate, but I don't think my mags are really going to do too much. Or I should say my photons. Okay, bang, bang, bang. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go back to the main gaming screen to give you guys a better look. Okay, where is he hiding? Where is he hiding? The good thing about this boss is that he's relatively easy, I find. Definitely not one of the... Okay, come on back to us, Big B. Perfect. Definitely not one of the more difficult bosses, but just time consuming because as you all know, there's a second evolution to this boss. It's a pain in the ass. Oh, for fuck's sakes, we lost. God damn it. Got too cocky. Okay, don't steal my weapon. There we go. Perfect. Okay, bang, bang, bang. And are we going to be able to do it? Bang, bang, bang. Titan Guy is joining the game. Sweet. I'm surprised that Titan Guy was able to burst into the... Was he? No, Titan Guy is probably in the lobby and unable to join the boss battle. Poor Titan Guy. Okay. Alright. Where is he hiding? There he is. Man, he is quick. Holy smokes. Well, I guess this is why it's ultimate. Okay, thank goodness we've got other players that are able to heal us up, because otherwise this is going to be a slow burn. Okay, is that a glitch in the game? Doesn't look like it is meant to be gray like that. Okay, come on, let's go. Man, I can't remember the last time it's taken us this long to... Oh shit, he's paralyzed me. Fuck, can't fire. And of course, the second I'm neutralized is the second that it finally dies. Okay. Holy smokes. I didn't get XP. Well, that sucks, man. Okay, don't fire at the wall, dummy. Okay. Hopefully... Well, the other players are hitting for a decent amount. Okay, so light attack, heavy attack, heavy attack. Light attack, heavy attack, heavy attack. Light attack, heavy attack, heavy attack. And why not? Let's just unload our photon. At least it gives people a time to sort of recoup and reform. Alright, sweet. Okay, come on, a couple more. Okay, this guy should be dying any second now. I don't know why he's paralyzed. Oh, I spoke too soon. And of course I'm hitting for 0 now. Oh shoot. And he's dead. Sweet. Whew. That was a close one. Okay. Oh shit, come on guys. Well, I guess you gotta launch it because otherwise you're gonna lose it. We probably should have waited until the end anyways, just that way we could all do it together. Alright, what do we got here? Trimate, yes please. Trimate, yes please. Meseta, yes please. Meseta, yes please. No thanks. Defense material, yes please. What do we got? Dimates, yes please. Dimates, yes please. And we'll sell that once we get to the Techer. Unless we've got a full... Yes, we've got a full inventory. Okay, so let's unload our inventory. Use that. And let's equip our Android rifle and use our mono grinder. And go back to that weapon. Equip. Okay, cool. Back to Pioneer we go. And let's just feed our Dreamcast mag while we're here. Excellent. Okay, we're looking good. And bang, there we go. Sweet. So another request I've had was from Tiago from the last game. And he asked me to scan my copy of the Phantasy Star Online Versus magazine. So I will be doing that and putting it as a PDF. And what I'll do is when I do that, I'll include it in the link to this particular stream so you guys can download it if you want. I'll put it on a mega link or something like that, but I'll put it down below so you guys can check it out. Okay, what do we got here? Anything we can use? We'll use that mono grinder, why not? We'll use that mono grinder, why not? Item. Equip. And let's just keep building up our Android rifle just for fun. Okay, mono grinder, yes. Mono grinder, yes. And equip. Thank you. Okay, cool. Anybody down for more? Possibly. I would like to try the Easter thing. Yes, okay, what do we got? What do we got? Anything good? Holy Ray. Special gun that impales enemies with a giant spear. Special attack. Oh, interesting. Okay, we'll try that. No, but we will put it aside. Another Holy Ray. No, okay. Anyone need a Holy Ray? I wonder if that is similar to the Heaven Punisher that I have. Sell. What do we got? Get rid of that guy. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Is it better than the crap I use now? Well, let's see. Can't guarantee anything. Good gun, UGB. Keep it. Okay, and yes, we'll buy that. And what do we got here? Oh, we got mono grinders and scape dolls. Sweet. Okay, let's get out of here. I don't really need it. I have a Heaven Punisher in my inventory. I got 2 Holy Rays, so you're welcome to 1. Unless you wanna trade for a Power VR, which is probably not gonna happen, but that's okay. Okay, so let's go to the lobby. Let's drop one of our Holy Rays. We did collect 2, so we do not need both of them. We'll just put the other one in our inventory. Item. Equipment. Oh, sweet. Cool. Let's do it. Meet me at the bank. Alright, so where is Big B? There's Big B. Item. Item. Okay, so let's just upgrade our rifle right now. Use our mono grinder. We'll keep our scape doll. And these are actually pretty decent. What's this one do? Nice. Item. Equipment. Item. Holy Ray Escape Doll. And I guess he picked up his Power VR again. Where did the Power VR go? Item pack. Mag. I think you picked up that Power VR. I don't think he did it intentionally. I think he just ran away with it, so. Okay. Well, it was there, and then it's not. Equipment, items. I don't think it's in there, is it? No, 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 no. Ah, don't tell me my friend here ended up scamming me, did he? Okay, we don't want to go there. We want to go back to the, okay, we'll go back to the lobby. And we'll let Bigby know that he picked up both things. Okay. Sure, it was not intentional, but let's just make sure that we get things straight. So ruins 1. We'll be polite about it. Any chance you grabbed that Power VR when you grabbed that Holy Ray, amigo? Let's see if okay, where are them? Okay, let's go back to Pioneer because it looks like they did not go to the ruins. So let's go in the chat. Guys, if you don't have a copy of PSO, I suggest getting the Eve's PSO patcher. Where are you guys? In the ruins? Take my pipe. Ooh, kinky. Caves, UGB. Okay, cool. Yeah, so like I use pretty much exclusively, and if you look over here, Easter eggs, because it's Easter, I pretty much use exclusively the Eve's PSO patcher. It's just much more streamlined and easier to use, so really, really enjoy it. And I'm going to give the other Holy Ray to somebody else, probably. Let's just give it a try. See how well it works. Okay, what do we got here? Dye fluid and this. Okay. Awesome. No prob. I knew it was a mistake. Okay, let's try out our Holy Ray. We're all good here. This isn't like PSO back in, 2000. Okay, so item pack. Let's feed our mag too while we're thinking about it. What can I say? I like to steal. Oh, all fun and games until you get caught, I suppose. Okay, equip. And let's see what this Holy Ray is all about. Very curious. So it shoots a spear? Ah, neat. Okay, I wonder if it's good against dark enemies in particular. Options, item pack, area map. Where did everybody go? Okay, they're right there. Sweet. Okay, so let's go down this way. So when we go to the ruins, I wonder if it'll affect enemies much better. Well, that's kind of an effective weapon. I'm sort of impressed with that. Dragon frames. 49. Okay, cool. Okay, so now I'm just going to have to figure out how to apply that. I think I'm supposed to go to the Techer or something like that. And, or maybe I go to the shop. I can't remember exactly. But ultimately, I go to a place in Pioneer and I apply that to my Dreamcast mag, I believe. So if anybody's watching and knows better, you let me know. I do have quite a bit of different things that I haven't applied to my mags yet. I do have a couple of different little items that I've been holding in storage that some of you have seen in the past. So you know the best route to applying the VR to my Dreamcast mag, I'd love to hear it. So it's a good weapon. I have a Heaven Punisher. Actually, what time is it right now? Oh, 99 internet time. One sec. BRB. Let's go back to town. And let's grab our Heaven Punisher and let's go back and have some fun with that. That sounds like it'd be a good way to explore the mines. And maybe what we'll do is unload that Holy Ray and we'll upgrade that with any mono grinders or anything like that that we find. Okay, so take item, Heaven Punisher, yes. And let's get out of here. Okay, cool. Okay, and was this pipe, I believe. Alright, so what time is it? Is it 200 on internet time? Sweet. Okay, let's go use our Heaven Punisher. Item, equip, Holy Ray, Heaven Punisher, there we go. Item pack, area map. So the cool thing about the Heaven Punisher, as you're going to see, is it drops down like these rays of light, and they kill everything in its path. So it's a really, really effective weapon in the ruins, but we can still have some fun in the caves. So let's check it out. Freak out some of our friends here, because I'm sure they'll love that. Ah, I took the wrong one. Okay. Item pack, area map, straight ahead. Okay, cool. Let's just sneak through here. Hopefully unscathed. I think we got a little bit more time left on our Heaven Punisher before it starts to fail us. Oh no! There we go. Sweet. Fuck, we're dead. No, okay. And bang, and bang, and bang. Heaven punished. Boom! Boom! The power of Christ compels you. Okay, let's see if we can do some damage on these guys. Bang, bang, bang. This is actually a really fun weapon because it'll basically kill everything in its path. And it only runs on even times, I believe, in your internet time. So you can only use it very sparingly. Boom, boom. And it works best against enemies in the ruins, actually. Where it's, you know, it's effective against all enemies, I guess, but the ruins in particular, it's really effective. Here it's not too bad because you kind of get a definitive hit no matter what you do, as opposed to some of the other weapons that you see me using where they're not so effective. Even some of the S rank things I have. Okay, so we'll keep using this until it runs out of juice, and then we'll switch back over. But in the meantime, it's a fun weapon to use. Okay, and let's nail these guys. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, cool. And boom, you are heaven punished. Alright, and are we going to take out these guys too? Alright, looks like we're done. Look at us shooting the birds makes me think of kids picking on some in a schoolyard. Well, I wouldn't agree on that, except yes, we are definitely ganging up on some of these enemies. Okay, let's go over to that swath of enemies and just nail them. Boom, boom, boom. Two. Only if the kid in the schoolyard was a giant monster that was trying to kill me. I don't know if that qualifies as bullying per se. Alright, where are we? Item. Let's feed our mag while we're thinking about it. Diamate, yes. Item, diamate, yes. And level up. And diamate, yes. Score. Okay, and area map. Where did everybody go? Of course they went down that way. Big B, you're mean! Ah, the brother's just being honest, that's all. 2, 3... No, it doesn't hit for the most, unfortunately, but it's still kind of fun. Okay, and... fuck. Instant death with those damn lilies. No, and please bring me back to life, guys. Thank you very much. Heaven Punisher, sweet. We still got some time to use it. Oh, I'm playing a 20-year-old game on a dead console. Dead? I don't know if it's particularly dead, but it's been thinking for 20 years, let's just put it that way. Alright, so where do we go from here? Straight ahead? Cool. Jinx. My DC is basically a shell of itself. USB GD ROM, Dream PSU, Akura, DreamPi. It's a Dreamcast in name alone. Okay, quit chatting. Let's get on here. Step on the switch. Yes, we did it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to put a dual BIOS in my Japanese Dreamcast. I am using a BBA tonight. Oh shit. Okay, let's get out of here. But most games don't use it. Okay. Unfortunately, our Heaven Punisher isn't the strongest weapon in the world. So you know what? Let's... Million Front Backs Online now. Yeah, that's a good game. AFO is amazing to play. 60 FPS. Are you guys going to buy the component cable from Retrovision? That is definitely something I'm going to pick up at some point. I'm really curious to see what the resolution of that looks like. Okay, let's do this. I have a modded Bluetooth DC controller. It works great. Bought it off a guy on the DC Junkyard. Oh, we gotta remember not to use our special attack right away here because fortunately our special attack is kind of unstable, and quite frankly we are teched up, so let's just stick with this particular weapon and do some real damage to our enemies. And if we do make it to the ruins, hopefully we do to fight falls, maybe we'll go back to our Heaven Punisher, assuming we're in the proper time. That's the trick. You can only use the special attack during certain times, so you got to make sure your internet time is like at, I believe, 220 or 200 or something like that, and then it goes away for a bit and then comes back. So it's a tricky little weapon, that's for sure. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, cool. Am I gonna be able to tag it? Yes, please. Thank you. We must be very close to a level up at this point too. Not as close as I'd like. 140,000. Okay, we're still too far away to feed our mag, but we're going to keep an eye on that guy as well. We want to make sure that we get to, I mean, in an ideal world, I'd like to get at least a level 45 on the mag tonight. Hopefully 50 if we can keep it up, but we'll just keep feeding it Dimates in the meantime until it doesn't like Dimates anymore, and then we'll just go from there. Alright, so I want the DreamCon gun. Okay, so if you guys have not heard of it before, the DreamCon gun is actually a mod made by the same guy who does the DreamCon, which is the Bluetooth controller for your Dreamcast, except it's for the light gun, and it uses a modded Wii controller system, and apparently it's really well. It works really well. So it uses the sensor bar from the Wii, and then they take the Dreamcast gun, add a Bluetooth element to it, and then put the sensor inside the gun. Apparently it works perfect. So very interested in that. Hopefully Sega and Hyperkin rather, announced that they're going to start making third-party accessories for some of their older systems like the Dreamcast. So my hope is that they get on board with doing a Dreamcast light gun that works on modern televisions. They're already going to do a Bluetooth controller, which I'll probably get because it looks like they're releasing them for the Sega Sports Edition as well, which would be fantastic. I can get an official, because keep in mind, these are officially licensed products coming from Hypervision. These are made with the endorsement of Sega. So knowing that, to have an official Sega Dreamcast Bluetooth Sports Edition controller would be a great addition to my Sports Edition as it is. I'm really trying my best to keep it in as pristine shape as possible. In fact, I recently bought a new case for it that folds out. It's a third-party case, but it looks pretty decent. I've seen some other people with it as well. And yeah, it'll just keep everything from getting scratched. The cover I have for it right now works quite well, and I actually really like it. It's pretty low profile. All it is just a pleather vinyl, I guess, custom made cover that somebody made for it, and it cost about $20. I can't remember exactly. That keeps the dust off, keeps the scratches away, it keeps it protected for the most part. But if I can get a hard shell, that would be great too, because then I can just unplug the Dreamcast and bring it from place to place that I need to. Okay, are we going to be able to take this guy out? There we go. Thank goodness. Those guys are so annoying. I think the Retrovision cable is going to be pretty great because it will be This controller is so sticky with all games. You can't really type too fast. For whatever reason, the response rate on the keyboard to the actual game is quite slow. So that is actually another reason I'm really excited about this other product that I ordered, which is the Dreamcast USB adapter. And I was able to get it confirmed. It does work with PC peripherals. If I could plug in like a really nice mechanical keyboard, that would be great. In addition to plugging in some PS2 accessories, PS3 accessories. But mostly I'm interested in plugging in a decent racing wheel. I think if I was able to pick up like a Logitech like G27 or something racing wheel. I kind of regret I passed one up. I found a complete one at a thrift store, but it was just a bit too much for me. They wanted $75, and I know those things go for quite a few $100s. They're really, really nice wheels, but I just couldn't pull the trigger on it, you know? I just couldn't justify spending that much money in a thrift store for a racing wheel, which, quite frankly, wasn't even confident the whole thing worked. You never know when people are donating electronics. I definitely didn't want to pick up something. Oh shoot, I should have donated. Damn. Okay, well, it is what it is. Hey, what's going on there, And unfortunately, I could not participate in this particular photon blast, as I was only at 35. Okay, mag, item, give item. And I am going to need to go back to Pioneer soon, I think. Damn. Alright. Pit stop to Pioneer. BRB. Okay, let's drop a pipe. Telepipe, yes. And let's go. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's go buy some die mates. Okay, so what do we got here? Okay, let's get rid of this dragon frame. And let's see what this disc is. We can't use it, but we can at least get some Meseta for it. Okay, yes. Want to equip it? Absolutely not. And here we go. Bum, 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 bum. Come on. Autofocus. There you go. Okay, we'll buy that for sure. And let's sell this disc. And we'll buy a whole gang of die mates. And our inventory is full. Cool. And let's feed the rest of our mag. Buy some more die mates. And then get back to the game. Give. Die mate. Yes. Give. Die mate. Yes. Okay. Let's stock back up. Oh, it looks like Big B came down with us too. Okay. Buy die mate. Yes. Okay, and let's use our mono grinder on one of our weapons. Maybe we'll stick with the Android rifle because that seems to be pretty effective. And we'll unload some stuff in the bank. So deposit. No, we'll keep that deposit. Item. Yes. And we'll get rid of this Holy Ray for now. Yes, we'll keep the Heaven Punisher. Actually, we don't need the Heaven Punisher right now. And let's get out of here. Please come again. Thank you. Item. Equip. And let's use our mono grinder. Sweet. Okay, equip. There we go. Score. Okay, let's go back to... Oh geez, which pipe do we take? Cave 1. Cave 2. Cool. Place your traps on those. I'm not trying to tell you how to do boss, but I'm really watching you play this game and I mastered long ago. No problem. I make it very clear when I play this game that I am not particularly good at it. I just enjoy it. Oh shit, where is everybody? Okay. So any advice you can give me is great. I will definitely, when I have a moment, take your palette adjustment into consideration. But yeah, any tips? This is kind of like why I enjoy streaming this game. They are more than welcome. I only really get an opportunity to play this game when I stream. Don't play it offline, although I am considering grinding through a couple of offline quests. I may stream it, but I find that playing offline with without partners is a little bit boring. It's a little monotonous, not as exciting. You don't generally find anything, and it's simply I want to complete the hard mode because I haven't completed that yet offline, which means I can't unlock very hard when I go into my own games when I'm hosting. At the moment, I can only unlock the hard mode games, which is okay, I guess, but because I typically don't host a game, but I would like to have that opportunity. And my character is more than capable of defeating falls on hard. So, and it's just that it's about a 4-hour game. I've got to just take some time and actually do it. So, boo-hoo, pity me. I got to play the game some more. But yes, thank you for that advice. I will definitely take it into consideration. I'm going to go over the chat log once this video is done streaming. Kind of see exactly what you're suggesting and then maybe rearrange it accordingly offline, and who knows, maybe the next time you see me stream I will have a palette that matches your specifications. As you said there in the chat, you've mastered this game long ago, so obviously you know better than I on how to optimize the performance of playing it. Okay, I just kind of fuck around until I win and rely heavily on my partners to walking through these games, because even at level 114 on Ultimate, like you guys can see, unless I'm heavily teched up, I am not able to hit for very much at all. So, and part of that is also due to the fact that my mag is extremely low at the moment. Definitely not where I want it to be, but we're working on it. And speaking of which, item, mag, Dreamcast mag, give item. Level up, sweet. So we're getting there. So you can see the power is not where I'd like it to be, but I do have that other mag, that 200 POW. I got that from Kuroheim, and you know, I could easily just put that on right now and get my character to where I want it to be, but I have to build up this mag, and unfortunately I can only really build it up in game. So moon atomizers are definitely useful for healing our partners. Ba 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 ba. Okay. It's funny, I've mentioned before, I'm not a GameCube. It's not that I'm not a GameCube fan, I just have no connection with it whatsoever. And I do find some pretty good AAA, very valuable GameCube games. I just end up selling them and trading them for games that I actually would play and want to play. I've had a number of GameCubes in the past. It's a decent system. It's actually, the controller is one of the best controllers I've ever used, even though, like, I think I'm one of the few people that likes the Dreamcast controller. I think it's because of the way that you can grab and kind of grip the controller. You can really put a lot of pressure on it when you're in those tense moments, and you don't feel like it's going to break. Just like the way the force is distributed through it, it's a really heavy-duty, durable controller. But close second is definitely the GameCube controller, and the analog stick on it is fantastic. You know, sometimes I'll just get one of those just to harvest the analog stick, and I probably should harvest another one at some point and put it in my sports controller. The only reason I haven't is because I'm trying to keep my Sega Sports as pure as possible. Even though I've gutted it, I haven't modified the case at all, and I think that's the most important part. Like, I could easily put in a new board, I can put in a new drive at any time. That's not a big deal. But if the case is damaged, then, you know, that's going to be really disappointing. So the shell is the most important part. Everything that comes with it is kind of easily replaceable. In fact, I think everything inside this original Sega Sports Dreamcast has been replaced, including the board, because I was having difficulty. I think one of the caps blew on the original board, and I was having difficulty maintaining a connection with my DreamPi at the time. But when I swapped out the board, I didn't have those issues, and then I put it into a Dreamcast. Like, the actual Dreamcast worked fine in it. It's just the internet was unable to stay stable for whatever reason. The modem was not able to keep a constant connection. So I sold it to somebody and just let them know that, yeah, if you plan on getting online, this one won't do it for you. But they were fine with playing offline and just doing couch co-op with their friends. So that's what I did with that one. Okay, now do we need to get on these? No, I guess not. I guess we're gonna wait until we get back. Yeah, the only reason I have the attack buttons the way they are right now is because I want to keep everything off A. I want to keep special attacks off A, because when I use the S rank weapon, it's so unpredictable of what it'll do. If I'm picking up an item, I'll launch a special attack, and then I could easily debuff all of my partners, and I could debuff myself, in fact, and that'll cause a whole gang of problems. So that's why I've got it off to the X button. And the other button combinations and special attacks, I mostly, I guess I could probably free up the die-mate one, but because my character is so vulnerable without having other people to play with, I like to have a lot of health boosts as accessible as possible. So that's why I have the button combination the way I do at the moment. But yeah, I'll try the way that you suggested. I'll go over the chat log like I said. What are we, an hour and 35 minutes into the game? So I'll look for it on the stream afterwards, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so somebody's got a wicked wand right now. That's awesome. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. And we're going to take him out. Yes. Okay, so I think we're getting at the boss quite soon, actually. Let's just dip around here. If memory serves me correctly, we are fairly close. Caves 3 is where I fail. Fair enough. Okay, boom, boom, boom. We're good to go. Okay. And tag, tag, tag. Sweet. So I did plan to come on earlier, actually, but I got wrapped up watching a movie, and it was a movie that I was quite interested in. Mostly because of the director. Now, I've followed this director for quite some time, even from his earlier releases, but, you know, you guys all know who he is, Guillermo del Toro, and Mexican director who's done a lot of really great stuff. More of the common stuff is like Blade 2, the Hellboy movies. He also did a couple of really great gothic horror movies, including Devil's Backbone, which I really enjoyed. But he did The Shape of Water. And the interesting thing about The Shape of Water is that it was shot here in Toronto, so I recognized a lot of the architecture, which is kind of cool. Actually, another show that I'll mention later has a lot of the same things going on. But yeah, The Shape of Water, shot here in Toronto. And actually, Guillermo del Toro lives in Toronto, not too far away from where I live, to be honest. I know this because a friend of mine has a house close to the neighborhood, and he was just walking down the street. He lives like a couple streets over, and he's in the film industry. He's in animation. He actually wrote and directed the, you might have heard of this animated movie that came out a couple of years ago called The Nut Job. And he did The Nut Job 2 as well. And he's actually producing a new animated feature that'll hopefully be released sometime next year. So, you know, between him and a couple other friends that I've had in the industry, I kind of get the heads up on what's going on. But yeah, he was just walking down the street with his daughter one day, and he saw this guy, and he just looks at him, and he's just like, "Are you Guillermo del Toro?" And he's, yeah, and then he took a picture beside him and found out that they're neighbors. So yeah, he lives just down the street from where I live. And did The Shape of Water, which it's a fantastic movie. I loved it. Was not quite what I expected. It's always intriguing to me when guys like this get like Best Director or Best Picture awards at the Academy Awards. Now, the Academy Awards are an industry award. They don't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. All they are is just pandering to themselves and stuff like that. But occasionally you get guys like Guillermo del Toro that sneak in and shake things up a bit. And the practical effects on that movie are fantastic. The story was pretty good. It wasn't as great as I think some people make it out to be, but it was pretty good. And the woman that played the lead, she was fantastic. And Doug Jones, the guy who played the actual sea creature, he is great as always. He's able to emote quite a bit without saying anything, which is pretty fantastic. He has basically been in all of Guillermo del Toro's films as creatures. He was like a couple of the mutated vampires in Blade 2. He was Abe Sapien in the Hellboy movies. He was in Pan's Labyrinth, a couple of different characters. He was, yeah, he's been in all of them. And he played the creature, and yeah, it's fantastic. He's an older guy now. I think he's like 56, and he does act on top of just playing creatures where he doesn't say anything. And in fact, I think in Hellboy 2, he actually did the voice as well. But yeah, he did a fantastic job as that creature. And I watched a couple of specials on how they did the makeup, because it's all practical effects except for the eyes. The eyes are mostly practical, but to give it some more depth, you know, there's only so much mechanical you can apply to that. So at some point, you have to rely a little bit more on CG to touch it up, which, to be honest, that's the way CG was always intended. Like, I mean, it was used to fill in the gaps of practical effects, and then people just got lazy and started doing, you know, cheap monsters with nothing but digital effects, which kind of sucks. My brother is in the effects industry, and he does practical effects. He's worked on a couple of really big movies, and I guess now I can disclose it because it was just recently announced on bloodydisgusting.com. Some of you might remember a great little direct-to-video horror movie back in the 90s called Leprechaun, right? It was about this evil leprechaun that went and killed people in various ways related to St. Patrick's Day and stuff like that. Fantastic film. Warwick Davis plays the leprechaun. You might know him from the movie Willow. You might know him from he played Wicket from the Ewoks movie, and also Star Wars. He's been in a bunch of other things too. He's like in the Harry Potter films and stuff like that. But anyways, he played the leprechaun, and the leprechaun was this nasty little character. They were fun movies. Even the bad movies are okay, like Leprechaun in Space and stuff like that. They have their own charm. It's just like they jumped the shark. They just went over the deep end with the character plots and stuff like that. Like, they didn't. They're really cheap, low budget movies. They've got really nobody telling them what to do. They just do their own thing. And even the Back to the Hood movie, the first one was okay for what it was. It was cheesy as hell, but it was fun in its own right. And recently they've just, a couple of guys that belong to this film group called Astron 6. Now, they've done some really great movies recently. You may have watched a horror movie called Father's Day, which they did. And it was, I'm not going to tell you the story because I'll probably get kicked off of YouTube. So just do the research on it yourself. But it's a pretty intense little movie. It was really good. They did a really fun sci-fi movie called Manborg, which is great. Watch it if you can. It is a fantastic movie. And they did a recent Gallo-style horror film called The Editor, which is great as well. Anyways, these guys got the rights to the Leprechaun franchise and are rebooting the series, sort of. They're going to do a direct sequel to the first film, and it's going to be a legit, scary leprechaun, semi-serious movie. It'll have fun to it. It's not going to be all grimdark and stuff like that. Like, it's a leprechaun movie. Come on, you got to have some levity to it. But it's not going to be so ridiculous that it's nearly unwatchable. So they got the rights to it. They just announced that they're going to be making a new leprechaun film, and my little brother's going to be working on some of the effects. He did a movie that actually I ended up getting some filmmaker passes to it when we went to TIFF a couple years back. So there's a film anthology series called The ABCs of Death. And what it is it's an anthology series of short films, and each letter in the alphabet represents a terrible way, or not necessarily that people are going to die, but a short horror film based on each letter. So here's how the story went, actually, and you could hear it in the commentary track that he did for the film. So when the first ABCs of Death movie came out, you had the option to submit a short film, and based on viewer votes and stuff like that, you would get in to have your movie for one of the letter segments. So they picked a letter, and it was T. So everybody submitted their entries for T, and they were able to, based on the votes and based on the producers of the film, they decided who was going to have their film for T in the ABCs of Death anthology. So my brother made a film called T is for Thread, and you can watch it online. He has a lot of his stuff up on Vimeo and stuff like that. It's a great short film, and he does all of his effects practically. And it's a short film. He uses the same actress for most of his movies as well. She's a really nice woman, and it's great. Just watch it. It's like 5 minutes long. It's really got some pretty dark humor to it and stuff like that. And the practical effects are fantastic as well. They can't be beat. But he didn't get picked. And even though his movie was probably one of the best ones there, unfortunately, the people that got picked were these sisters that did some film. What did they do again? I can't remember. They were popular at the time, but I think they've fallen off the radar. And effectively, they were picked just because of their name recognition. And they submitted this film that felt like they kind of phoned it in. I can't remember what it was called again. T is for something. But it kind of sucked-ish. And it pissed off my brother a lot because his film was definitely one of the better entries. So, fast forward a couple of years. And he's stewing and brewing. And they announced that they're going to make the ABCs of Death Part 2. And for part 2, they decide they're going to do the same sort of contest. They're going to allow somebody from out in the community to make a film, and that film will go on to the ABCs of Death Part 2 anthology. It'll get a distributor, it'll be on DVD, Blu-ray, it'll come to theaters and stuff like that. It'll be great. All you have to do is make a film and submit it. So, you know, my brother's a great guy, and he's a very talented filmmaker. He was debating whether or not he wanted to participate in this, because he was not chosen the last time, unfortunately. So, you know, it stings a little bit. But he got over it. He talked to his wife at the time, and she convinced him, like, well, why don't you just send an email to them and just explain why you want to be in the contest this year? So they had the contest, and he submitted an email and basically said, this is who I am, this is the movies I've done in the past. He's also done a fantastic short film that was in TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival, about 10 years ago, called Day of John, and that's online as well. You can actually get it from the National Film Board of Canada website. And it's a fantastic short. A lot of people love that movie, including myself. It's really, really good. But he had a couple of beers, and he's like, fuck it, I'm writing them an email. So he wrote them an email and basically said, this is the deal. I'm this guy, I'm really nobody, but I did really good work. I put a lot of effort into my short. It was the better short, and I feel like the choice you picked, you just picked them on name recognition, and I can appreciate that because you're just starting off this anthology series. But, you know, I feel like I should have been the best choice for this, and this is why. And, you know, I love this. I love the idea that you guys are allowing somebody in the public to make a film for this series, and I'd really like to be a part of it. I really supported your last one. Blah, 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 blah. I wrote a good email. It was to the point. It was very concise. Good on him. He sent it, and then he was like, okay, whatever. And shockingly, he got an email back, and they very quickly, actually, from the main director of the film anthology, who said, man, I'm so glad you emailed me and said that, because we've been regretting it ever since the choice that we picked. And they're like, we know your film, we know who you are. Yeah, if you want to make a movie for us, we'll do it. That would be great. So he didn't even have to be picked for the contest. They just gave him a letter, and he was good to go. So he ended up getting the letter Z, one of the more harder letters to pick. So the idea is that you pick a letter, and then again, something happens to the people associated with that letter. Something happens in your film that is associated with Z. So, okay, you got Z. What are you going to do with the Z, right? It's quite a challenging letter to pick from. So he picked Z is for zygote. And I'm not going to spoil the movie. You can watch the movie on the ABCs of Death 2 Blu-ray, or download it, or stream it, or just the clip, because the clip got quite popular. Everybody said pretty much the same thing. They said the movie was great, but Z is for zygote is fucking fantastic. And they are 100% right. It is a fantastic movie. The practical effects, and you know, I'm a little biased because it is my brother, but they are amazing. In fact, when he was shooting his next film, the people that he was shooting for, they asked, you know, like, who's the effects studio you hired to do the effects for this film? He's like, I didn't hire an effects studio. I did this all in my garage, which he did, like all of it himself. In his garage, he just slaved over it, and you know, he's a true artist in the best of ways. And yeah, like again, I don't want to spoil the movie if you haven't seen it before. Just go watch it. It's like 10 minutes of your time. And the reason I got filmmaker passes is because some of you, actually, if you go to my YouTube channel and you look under the music that I've done, you'll see one music video called Zia's First I Go, the theme from. So I composed the theme for his movie using the Roland MC505, and I just recorded a live rendition of it and put it on the YouTube channel just for fun. So you can check that out. But because of that, because of my addition to the music to the film, I was able to get some filmmaker passes to that TIFF and saw a bunch of movies and stuff like that. Actually, I ended up getting an IMDb credit for it as well, which is kind of cool. So that's my little claim to fame. I mean, I wouldn't have got it if it wasn't for my brother. He's the talented guy when it comes to this kind of stuff. But he threw me a bone and let me participate. And you know, I mean, he liked the music, and a lot of other people like the music too. And I actually made one copy of the music available to him. I said, this is the only physical release of the theme song you're ever going to get. And it wasn't on CD, it wasn't on tape, it wasn't on vinyl or anything like that. It was really not on any kind of medium that is practical for anybody. But what it was I released it on, I released the MIDI data on 3.5, or sorry, on 5 volt 2 megabit smart media card, which is what the MC505 uses. So if you want to listen to the theme song you want a physical hard copy of the theme song, the only way you can listen to it is by getting this copy, this smart media card copy, buying an MC505 and loading the MIDI data into it to play it. So, you know, that's about as antiquated of media as you can possibly get. If you want to get a 2 megabyte card on eBay, it's going to cost you about $60. It's so ridiculous nowadays, but it is what it is. So anyways, that's my story of that particular movie. But it brings me back to Guillermo del Toro, so Shape of Water, and practical effects. Fantastic movie. I was really blown away by it. I guess I probably shouldn't have been, given his track record. Like, everything he makes is pretty fantastic, but yeah, that movie in particular was quite good. So, okay, where is everybody? Where did everyone go? Seems like I lost everybody. Okay, cool. And how much XP do we got to go? Okay, we're getting there. We got about 100,000 to go left. Okay, guys. I gotta call it a night. Getting late here in Canada land. Catch you all later. Good night, eh? All right, cool. Later, gators. Okay, cool. So let's get out of here. Let's go back to the lobby. And actually, first we're going to drop off our Dreamcast mag in the bank. Of course I want to get Titan Guys Guild card. Okay, so let's drop off our Dreamcast mag in the bank, just so that way it saves everything. Deposit, item, Dreamcast mag, yes. Okay, cool. So we've got that saved. And let's go to Pioneer. Not Pioneer, rather, the lobby, and let's save our game there. Maybe we'll even see if some other people are online, but I don't think we're going to play any more games tonight, just because for time's sake here in Gold Canada land. Okay, so when you're in the lobby, / save whatever your VMU is, and we're good to go. Quit game, yes. Okay, cool. Well, that was a really fun game tonight. Thanks everybody for watching. yeah, that was just a fun game. Unfortunately, we didn't get to the Easter Frantic Fauna quest. We were too busy doing a bit of a mine run. We did find some cool stuff. That Power VR, I'm gonna have to do some research on that. I also want to do some scanning tonight of my Phantasy Star Online guide for Tiago, but we'll try and get on again. Maybe, unfortunately, I got to work overnight. Sunday night, I've got to work from 11 to 7 a.m., so that kind of sucks. But maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll get back online and see what's going on. Wednesday, ideally, I'd like to play one of the other Dreamcast games that's live at the moment, but we'll see what everybody else is doing. I really want to try World Series Baseball. That looks like a lot of fun. But before we go, just want to show you a couple of odd pickups that I got as well. So, just a couple more things, not too much. This thing I was really kind of happy with. It was the Little Nemo 1905 to 1906 book. So that's just a collection of old comics of Little Nemo. So if you don't know what that is, that's like a Japanese, not manga, cartoon character from the early 1900s. And they made a Nintendo game about him. They made a really good movie that's kind of highly underrated back in the 80s. About him, but really interesting character, and it's a huge book. It was really kind of nice to find. But here is the thing that I'm so happy to have. I'm so glad I got it, and I got it for a really, really cheap price too. And that is Chuosaka's vinyl soundtrack to Tetsuo. If you don't know who Tetsuo is, Tetsuo the Iron Man is an amazing Japanese independent film from the late 80s. And it is about a guy basically turning into a piece of metal. It's an art film. It's got an amazing industrial soundtrack by Chuosaka. Unfortunately, he passed away in December of 2017, and he released this album independently on his website. Now that he's passed away, I don't think they'll be making any more copies or distributing them because it's all sold out everywhere. But I got this in a trade. Big fan of this soundtrack, huge fan of the movie. I used to have a Laserdisc actually. It looked really cool, but I sold it to somebody because I wasn't collecting Laserdisc anymore. But really, really happy to have this in my possession. Look up Chuosaka online and some of his other soundtrack work. The guy is fucking amazing. Brilliant musician. Definitely did a lot of interesting things with some maybe non-traditional musical equipment. But made a fantastic soundtrack to an equally fantastic film. And if you haven't seen the film, check it out, definitely. I think it's only about 60 minutes long. It's quite short. So, not a big investment in your time. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Glad that I was able to get a couple of interesting items. And again, I'll do some research on those. And hopefully the next time you see me, we'll apply that Power VR to our Dreamcast mag and see what happens. But in the meantime, everybody take care. And I will see you later. Good night.